name's Greg Ferron. I'm the CEO of Platinex. So we're a Canadian listed company based in Toronto, and we're developing a high quality portfolio of projects in Ontario. We've got a copper nickel project called W2. We've got a gold joint venture portfolio in the Timmins camp, and we're also spinning out our uranium projects, creating a new company called Green Canada, which will be listed in the first half of next year. That's our flagship project. So we bought that a couple years ago, and what we've been doing is growing the size of the project. We've made 4 or 5 acquisitions expanding the project. All of our projects have been previously owned by majors, so Inco, for example, and we have a very good technical team that's advancing these projects, and we're looking to do creative transactions, either a joint venture or a spin out, or ultimately, in the case of W2, we'd like to expand on the resources that are known now and then look to sell that to a major. So we've just completed a modeling of the historical drilling that was done by Inco and another company called Aurora Platinum. And then in the new year, we'll begin doing an IP program and drilling on the historical results. And there's quite significant copper, nickel, platinum, palladium results at the project. So we're going to look to infill some of that historical drilling and then look to drill some of the new targets in the east and north of the resource area. So we've got a very nice gold portfolio in the southern part of Timmins, in the Shining Tree camp. You've got the Cote project just west of us, and Alamos' Young-Davidson to the east. And that was one of the founding assets in the company, was the Shining Tree project. And I sold some ground to Jim Trussler, who founded the company, and that's how I got involved. Since then, we bought a nice portfolio of gold projects from Fan Camp called Heenan Mallard, which is north of Cote. And we entered into a joint venture with them. We've got about $2 million left of funding, and we spent the last couple of years getting the projects ready, doing the early stage work. And this is a greenfield discovery we made at Heenan, and then we were doing some trenching, made some very nice high-grade discoveries at surface. So because it's a new greenfield discovery, there's not a lot of historical drilling. So it's a small program. We're just going to test where we're trenching. So we'll do 2 holes on the 2 trenches each, and then 1 we'll drill at depth, and 2 holes will be step outs from those trenches. So it's a small program, about 1,000 meters, 5 holes in total. And we've already started the work, so the results will be done in 2 to 3 weeks. The program will be done, and then we'll assay the results and probably announce that towards the end of January. So what we wanted to do with Platinex is quite a large portfolio of projects, as you heard. We've got the gold portfolio. We've also got the copper nickel project. We wanted to focus Platinex on those 2 assets. So we're spinning out our lithium and uranium projects, creating a new a company called Green Canada, and we raised $500,000 for that, and we'll have that listed in around March, April time frame. And the idea is we'll raise some additional funding with the listing. We'll probably add 1 more resource stage uranium asset, but we've got a very nice uranium portfolio now. It's all in Canada, 2 projects in the Athabasca Basin, 1 project in Quebec, and 1 project in Ontario. And then that'll go up trading as a separate company, and then we'll dividend those shares out to the Platinex shareholders to create a broader distribution of shareholders. We'll see how the market conditions are and how the listing comes together. So Platinex will either hold a large component of those shares and be a significant shareholder and have a board presence. If the market conditions are quite strong, like the uranium sector seems to be, we may dividend those shares to our shareholders just to provide a broader distribution. And then also just another reason to buy Platinex is you'll get that dividend of shares. So yeah, we'll make that decision in around the start of the first half of next year. So we currently have about $1.5 million cash. We just raised another $1 million for the W2 project, so that's about $2.5 million cash we have right now. And we've also got a joint venture partner on our gold projects, so that's got about $2 million left to spend over the next few years. And then in terms of additional financing, I think what we may do for our copper project, it is in the Northern Ontario. It's an expensive place to work. It's quite a large project. It needs a fair bit of drilling. So we could look to bring in a strategic investor at some point in 24. So we're talking to a few of larger companies we'd be looking at, like some of the major producers would want to invest in a project like this. But the plans right now are to get that IP done, get that gravity survey done, and then drill some of those new targets, and then actually re-enter and drill some of the historical holes, because they were drilled quite shallow. So 100 meters, so just get in and drill below that, and then infill some of the historical holes, and then that'll get more information, and that should attract strategic investors as that information gets into the market. Yeah, well, a couple reasons. I mean, if you look at our shareholder base, we're about a 10 million market cap. So the type of investors that are buying this stock are high net individuals, family offices. We have 25% of our shares held by mining companies, so Alamos, Treasury, Fancamp, for example, and they're generally long-term patient investors. So it's good to have the support from management buying the stock. And the second thing is I see a lot of potential. If you look at the Green Canada spin-off, if you look at the gold joint venture, and then the W2 project, I think each asset individually is worth our current market cap at some point as we get more work done, as market conditions improve. So if we can raise, say, 10 million from that Green Canada spin-off for Platinex, or eventually I think we could sell the W2 or the joint venture for 25, 50 million. I just see a lot of value in the portfolio where we're trading today. So as mentioned, Platinex has a nice portfolio of different commodity in projects based in Ontario. We're listed on the CSE, based in Toronto. And over the next year, we're going to have a lot of news flow coming from our Heenan and Mallard. We've made 2 discoveries this year on our gold portfolio. So we're drilling Heenan right now. So those results will be available in January. The larger gold project in that portfolio is a Shining Tree project. It's all within the same deformation zone, the same trend. We completed a large trench there. So those results will come out in January, and then we'll begin drilling that project in the middle of the year. So a lot of news on the gold portfolio. And then our copper project, as mentioned, we just raised some capital for that. So we just completed an in-house resource. We put all the historical drilling into a Leapfrog in the digital format. And then we'll begin drilling that project next year. We'll also be doing some gravity surveys, some metallurgy work. So a lot of news will be coming out of that project. And then another big development will be the Green Canada spin-out. So we'll announce the date of that listing next year. Most likely there'll be a financing and an additional asset added to already an exciting uranium portfolio called Green Canada.